You're on mute.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining this Day One Global Virtual Summit 2024. So, before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience. So, welcome on stage Dr. Iris Wright. She is a passionate entrepreneur, healthcare innovator, and social justice advocate. As a founder of Caring Hearts Delegate, she champions affordable home care and has earned recognition to your Best Home Care nomination in Newport News, VA. Inspired by Steve Harvey's gem, Dr. Wright transitioned from restaurant management to healthcare at 28. Driven by her dedication to improve community well-being, her injustice movement supports wrongly accused individuals while her impactful speaking engagements inspire others to pursue their dreams. Honored with multiple accolades, including honorary doctorates, Dr. Wright's mission continues to spark positive transformative change. Yes, that was a huge introduction, Dr. Aris. Now the stage is all yours. Good luck. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can continue.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Iris Wright, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my life, leading with God, passion, and purpose, and how I got to where I am today. Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and as I iterated that who I am right now today, I want to say that in my past, I was told that I was 004 00319 is what I was told. I was told that I was a high school dropout, never going to be anything, and giving a number like some people. So I'm going to go into a little bit of my story so you can get to know me a little bit more. I'm gonna jump right into that. I was 18 years old and I was facing over 20 years incarceration for a crime I didn't commit. I had a child. She was taken from me. It took me almost 5 years to get her back. Once my daughter was given back to me, after I fought hard for her, my daughter came back home with a sexual transmitted disease. So, as you can see, how my life shifted and changed in an instant, just like that, becoming a young adult. It took me over 20 years to learn to heal from what happened to me and my daughter. It was not easy, but I knew that if I wanted change, if I wanted to be something greater, I had to learn to heal and I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. All right. So, entrepreneurship was a huge step for me, giving me the opportunity to change and see who I really was because I had no clue. 20 years, I was just living, I was in survival mode. All right. And I'm going to tell you right now that survival mode is no place for no one. It is draining. You're constantly moving and doing things, trying to survive, trying to get to the next buck or trying to get to the next day, and you accomplish nothing, right? You accomplish nothing most of the time when we're traveling and moving around in survival mode. So I'm just thankful for God's grace that I was able to learn how to move from survival mode. And writing was a big part of my healing process. So I went through decades of counseling and didn't get anywhere. I was full of anger. So I want you to know where my mind was at. I was full of anger. So I got in more trouble. All right. I got in more trouble. And I was once landed in maximum security jail because I was getting in fights and getting in more trouble. Um, all of this started from that little from an incident that happened to me that really um had nothing to do with me. I was being wrongly convicted of a crime. And I don't know if you know how that feel. if you understand the mindset that someone's being wrongly convicted when we know we did nothing wrong and we're trying to understand it. Going through that process, I learned I turned my back on God, on religion. It took me some time to get to the place that I am today. So I'm going to give you some steps and to tell you a little bit about how I made it through and how I got into entrepreneurship. So I hope you can stay with me. My first step that I had to do was I had to learn how to love myself. Guys, loving yourself is critical because people can love you and people can tell you how beautiful you are, how awesome you are. But if you don't believe that in yourself, it means nothing. It means nothing. And if you don't love yourself, how can you truly learn to love other people? So, being that broken person, overwhelmed with hurt, anger, pain, at times I gave up on myself. I let work confine me a lot. So work was all I knew. I worked all the time. Even though I had young kids that needed my support, I worked. I was in a state of mind to where I was physically there, but I wasn't mentally there. So, guys, I tell people all the time when hurt people. And when you're traumatically, I felt like I was mentally incarcerated, right? So if you can understand how that may make you feel mentally incarcerated. So I was there. I may have done some things, been around people, may have lived part of my life, but I was not there mentally. All right. So I had to begin how to process on what loving myself looks like. And I did this by every day looking in the mirror, just telling myself that I am beautiful and I am worthy. And I put words of affirmation, um, is some of the things that I have done for myself. And writing, again, was a big part of that step. And I'm going to tell you how I got into writing. The next step in my healing process was acceptance. Acceptance was a big deal. Now, how do you accept something that you had no control over, something that you didn't do? Acceptance helped me move and rebuild my faith with God. All right. I had to do it. This was something that wasn't done for nobody else. I had to do it for myself. So sometimes when people are telling us about we have to forgive or we have to accept, those things we must do, because even though certain situations in life happens that may have conflicted pain on us, it is our responsibility to heal from those pain. All right. So the next one is I had to learn how to discover my internal strength. Guys, I had no clue of what that meant or that I had this internal strength, right? Because I was so fragile for a while. I was broken. I felt like I failed as a mother. I felt like I failed as a person. I felt like I failed my mom. um so it was very, very difficult, but going through that process and rebuilding my personal relationship with God was a major piece of that. So I had to learn how to believe in him again. I had to learn how to trust him, and I had to start processing that healing stage. And again, writing was a big part of my journey. I had to learn how to forgive is the next step. Now, forgiveness, I think, is like the hardest thing of it all, right? Yet it's so important. And forgiveness does not mean that the people that hurt you, you continue to be in their life all the time. It means that you just need to forgive them. And after you forgive them, you can move on. All right. You have to do that for yourself by any means necessary. You don't want to stay stuck for years like I did because you're unable to forgive. It will keep the anger and the hate inside of you. And trust me, you don't want any anger or hate. Okay. So After nearly 20 years of mental imprisonment, I took my power back by following those steps. I'm living proof that no matter what you go through, you can evolve, grow, and elevate to your purpose. How did healing help me in the entrepreneurship journey? So I'm going to tell you my entrepreneurship journey, because now I am going through and I process and started healing. And let me tell you something I always tell people. When a woman finds her strength, she finds her identity. It was a point in my life where I had to say, who am I? Who am I really? I know what they told me I was. I know who they told me I was. They gave me a number and they told me that I was 00400 319. I can never forget those numbers. I discovered that I was more than that. So one day I read Steve Harvey's book Jump, and it changed my life. It changed my life for the better, because I was working at a job that I was short of staff all the time, working long hours, trying to make ends meet, and even working there, trying to start a business and working 12-hour shifts and all of that. It was just a lot. It was a lot of my body, a lot of my time, a lot of my mental. And I worked for people who really didn't appreciate all the hard work, all the overtime that I pulled. So after reading Steve Harvey's book Jump, I went into my job and I gave my 2 weeks notice. I gave my 2 weeks notice, guys. I was so scared. I can tell you this, but I know that God had me. I know that God had me. I had no savings. We spent all of our savings to move to Virginia to start a new life. So, going through the process, I want to tell you some steps and tips about getting into entrepreneurship and what have helped me grow and captivate into where I am today. And so, one, don't build your business in survival mode. Remember, I told you survival mode is a bad place to be. All right. It's bad. You want a clear mind. You want to be able to strategically plan your moves. You want to be able to see things clearly. And when we're in survival mode, you cannot see things clearly. You're making rational decisions. Okay. You don't want to be in that mindset. Two, build a strong team. Guys, hello. I want to tell you that a lot of times in entrepreneurship, I've met so many people who got into entrepreneurship and they're working like they're working a job, and they're overworking themselves. They're getting burnt out because they think that they can do everything by themselves. And I have news for you. You're losing money. You're losing money by doing that. And you're losing your time, all right? Because, guys, after you get through your healing process and you start finding out who you are and you start building your business, you get a sense of peace, all right? Because sometimes, even with building a business and when building a business, you're going to have stressful situations, right? But because of how I was able to build my business, even when those stressful situations came, I was able to use my clear mind to make the right decisions for myself and for my business. So I know who I am and I know what I want. Three, have a strategic plan and system in place. Guys, you need a system in place. You need a strategic plan, right? So now, who says that plan is going to be perfect, that it's going to go to nail? No, it's not. You're going to have curveballs, is what I like to call them, curveballs. And you, because you are healed and you have a clear mind, when those curveballs come, you can make the right decision to figure out how to fix the problem. Because in entrepreneurship, we are innovators, we are fixers. All right. So that's what I love about entrepreneurship. Okay. So, guys, moving into entrepreneurship was one of the best decisions I have ever made. 4, stay focused on your vision and purpose. I can tell you this can be hard, especially when we have social media. We have all types of things going on, people owning the same business that you own, and they're doing things that everybody's posted how wonderful they're doing and all this money they're making, and everybody's a millionaire, right? and we get all tangled up into all of the mess. All right. And you have to find a way to stay focused on your vision and your passion, because let me tell you something. God lead us a certain way, and we all have our own people that we're supposed to connect with, that we're supposed to build with, that we're supposed to help. And you're going to miss that if you're concerned with what everybody else is doing. Okay. So you want to make sure that you are following your vision and purpose, and that it's important to you. 5, keep a close eye on your bottom line. Guys, do not go out here because you're making some money now and you're splurging. You're just spending all this money. You're buying these new houses, these new cars, new shoes, $1,000 outfits, and all this kind of stuff. Listen, business money is business money. Learn the proper way on how your business is structured, on how you're going to get paid, and make sure that you start planning for the future, planning for growth, right? Planning for your future, because now you're an entrepreneur. You don't want to work all your life, right? You need a retirement plan. You're right. You need to make sure your family is set up. You need to make sure that things are set up so if something happens to you, your family knows what to do next with your business. All right. You have to make power moves, is what I like to call them. Okay. So you have to make power moves. 6, understand state and federal taxes. All right. I think that was the one thing that I had to unravel when I'm building my business, especially when you get making some money, right? When you get making over 100, 200, $300,000 and more, those taxes are going to come real quick. You got to have a plan in place on how you're going to make sure that all of your taxes and things are paid, taken care of. And some states have different state taxes and different things that you have to pay as entrepreneurship. So you have your state taxes, you have your business license, you have your federal taxes. You just got so much you have to do. It's a lot in entrepreneurship, but we need to make sure that we're using our sound mind and making the right decisions and building. And guys, are you going to make mistakes? Because you're learning. Yes, you are going to make mistakes, but guess what? When you make a mistake, you learn how to fix them the right way. So then you don't give up. You don't give up. You come up with a plan. How are you going to fix it? All right. And you stick to the plan. 7, learn the power of collaboration. Guys, I love collaborating. And I'm going to tell you one thing that I've learned is if I didn't take the time to heal, I would not be able to collaborate. I didn't trust people. I didn't have grace. And when you have employees, you want to have grace. They're going to go through some things in life and they're going to come to you, and you need to be able to understand them. All right. So it was important for me to go through those steps so I can be a great boss and I can make sure that my clients and customers are being taken care of the right way. All right. So collaboration, if you got to pay attention to that as well, because you have good collaboration and then we have some bad collaborations. You got to find out who is your person, who are your people, and how are you guys going to collab. That means that it has to benefit the both of you, not just one person. Okay. It has to build both of you. So that's sometimes I think that we, as women, or just new entrepreneurs in general, that we don't understand how to effectively collaborate. But I'm going to tell you one thing. When you find your team and you effectively collaborate, it's a wonderful thing. I always say that we are better together than apart, right? So going through all the steps or some of the steps that I have given into entrepreneurship, I am so grateful that I was able to take these steps myself and learn them, and learned that I needed these steps to be able to heal, to be effective entrepreneur. And writing was a big part of that. I know y'all heard me say that a few times. So I'm going into writing. Now I'm telling you how I got through this healing process. Is one day I joined a anthology project, a co-author project. I had no clue that what effects it was going to take on me. I knew I was in my healing stage. I knew I had a story to tell. I didn't understand how to tell it or how to write it, or even if I was a writer, right? So I joined this anthology project, and it was a simple one. I had to do a 500 word bio, and I had to write a 500 word chapter. All right. And Lord, 500 words is not a lot of words. So I had to figure out how to do that. I wrote that bio and I wrote that chapter, and I got through that first anthology project. I've never put down the pen. Each time I wrote something, I felt a release. I felt a shift in myself, and it made me want more. That's how I became an author. All right. And now, today, because I told you before, I was 00400 is what they told me I was. Now, I'm Dr. Iris Wright. I own multiple companies. I am a 9-time best-selling author, international best-selling author. I help people from I took my pain and turned it into passion, and I help other people in my community. So I started a movement called Injustice, and I help people heal through the hands of injustice, because even though we got through it, doesn't mean that we heal. I always tell my mentees that a closed wound is not a healed wound. It's a different feeling when it's healed. If I didn't go through those steps, I wouldn't be here with you today to be able to comfortably talk about what I went through. But because I took control of my life, I took my power back, I am able to stand in front of you and tell you my story. Going through the anthology project, I went to another anthology and another anthology, and I was about to write my solo book. All right. And I haven't even launched my solo book. We're launching it this spring. But I got on Facebook Live and I told my story in the middle of me writing these books, writing these chapters for these anthologies. And little did I know that other people were hurting just like I was. That's why my Injustice series came about. That's how it came about. People were calling me and inboxing me and telling me their stories. And I mean, it was countless nights I stayed on the phone with people, just supporting them, just letting them know that it's someone that understands you here. I asked God to help me with strength, wisdom, and I want to stay authentic and transparent in my move. He has done that for me. So we started our injustice movement, where we started Injustice Volume 1. Injustice Volume 1. I cannot tell you how special that volume was to me, because not only was I able to bring people with me to help them heal and to help them get through their pain, but I had my first celebration. And in that celebration, I got my mom fixed up, because my mom has been through some things in her childhood that we had to live through. And I got her hair done, her makeup done. We brung her on over to Virginia, and we went through the conference, and I knew it was going to be people there, other authors there that could relate to my mom's story. I took my mom back home Monday. The next week, I get a FedEx envelope in the mail. My mom wrote her story. So my mom is one of my authors in Injustice Volume 2, and her chapter is called The Monster in the Room. And my mom has started her healing journey, a long journey, long trials of pain because of what I have done. So I asked God, I said, if that was it, I'm happy with that. But he lets me know time and time again that that is not it. There's more people that need you. So today, I am fighting for a young man. He's been incarcerated for 27 years. He did do the crime. It was a nonviolent crime. He was 19 years old. He was going through some things. with the wrong group of people, and the judge sentenced him to 80 years in prison. So we are fighting for a second chance for him. I cannot tell you how amazing God has been to me. And I'm not going to say was, how he had been to me. He has taken my pain and turned it into passion and purpose. He has taken my pain, allowed me to build businesses. He has taken my pain to allow me to help other people through their pain. It's special. It's a special relationship. And I've learned that when you're walking and you're moving in your passion and your purpose, nothing else matters. I've learned that when you make moves like that, I don't have to worry about money because it comes. We're taken care of. So guys, on today, just 1 year, I became an author in January of 2023. This is October of 2024. And I have written a lot of books. I am a visionary. I have my own magazine. I have a home care company. I have a publishing company. And most importantly, I'm helping other people. I'm out in my community and I'm building and I'm helping other people. August of 2024, I got accepted into pre-law classes. So I am currently in school to be an attorney. I want to be able to help my people without way more than, this is way bigger than me. I can't even express to you of the magnitude of love that I have right now, just because God trusted me. And I know now that he needed to allow me to go through that to stand in my purpose. He needed me to be able to be strong and to understand how to fight. So guys, I am no longer 004-00319. I am Dr. Iris Wright. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, I am free to answer them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iris Wright. So these are it's really a blessing to help your mother heal her trauma. So congratulations. So Christy Rogers have kept that comment to you. I can see a lot of comments. Did you see?
Yes, I'm looking at them right now.
Yes, you can respond.
Yes, it is. Christy, it really is, because my mom has been through so much. And sometimes when your parents are going through so much, you go through it as a child. You might not know all the details. And I'm going to tell you, my mom wrote her story. So I had to type it. So I had to relive it to get it into that book. I think her chapter was harder for me to type than my own, because I dealt with a lot of what she's been through our childhood.
I can understand. I know it's really a big challenge. I can see you're getting emotional. So everything gets well very soon. So thank you so much for sharing your story and great speech to our audience, Global Hospital Summit 2024. So looking forward to join other speaker sessions as well. So as we are running out of time, so the questions will be sent to you directly so you can respond to them. Thank you, Dr. Elise, and you have a wonderful day. Hope everything goes well with you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. Have a good day.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.